There are so many people getting diagnosed with ADHD, autism, anxiety, diagnosed by professionals and also self diagnosing to the point where a lot of people are genuinely saying, a lot of professionals are saying, a lot of activists, influencers, is it real? Is it fake? Is there too much happening? Are we all traumatized? Is it all gaslighting? Are we all pretending? Are these diagnoses real? Do we just need to follow Jesus more? Have we done too much? Are we doing enough? Um, I'm just here to check in. Hi, by the way. I'm Jamie Grace, and I have a pretty lengthy diagnosis, so you might be able to kind of guess where my thoughts are on this. But the reality is that I don't think that leaning heavily on one side of this is going to be remotely helpful. A lot of us use the clock app and the photo app, which is now a vertical video app, and we have seen, or at least I see, like an uprising of content kind of targeted to entertain based off of a mental health diagnosis, or to educate, but still in an entertaining way based off of a mental health diagnosis. And I genuinely feel conflicted. Because I'll see a video that's like, when your ADHD makes you go dot 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 dot, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's funny, because it feels relatable to me as someone with ADHD. And then I will look at the comments, and so many people are like, oh my gosh, I'm convinced I have it now, and I'm just like, that's what did it. Because for me, it was the trauma of my childhood. But okay, so, and I think that it is worrisome and also valid. I really do, because there are so many people that would have never had access to the understanding that their challenges could be a mental health complexity, or could be neurodivergence, or could be the result of trauma, or could be the result of an undiagnosed issue. I think there's so many people that would not have had access to that without social media. And I am forever grateful for the doors that have been opened, for people that need that, and that will continue to benefit from mental health being an ongoing and a much more transparent and vulnerable conversation. I also struggle with the concept that everyone, not everyone, that's a strong phrase, and I don't want to exaggerate, but I do struggle with the fact that we have begun to use mental health terms and phrases so flippantly that I think they're losing a little bit of the juice. I I I hesitate to say this because I try to speak super positively about all humans, and especially mental health professionals. I went to a mental health professional a few years ago, and my team now is great. So just in case any of my peoples that I be doing appointments with, just in case y'all see this, it's not about y'all. But if I have not seen you in a few years, it might be about you. Ooh, sorry, boo. But yeah, man, like I kind of sat with her first meeting, and I gave her the rundown of my diagnosis. And one of the first things that she said was that she didn't want me to, like, get too caught up in labels and that kind of thing. When I then told her that the diagnosis I was telling her about was from my neurologist when I was at the age of 11, my Emory neurologist. If you live in the Southeast, that might, mean a little bit more to you. But she kind of sat back a little bit and went, "Oh, okay." And gosh, I was irritated, and I was a little embarrassed for her, for me, but validated. It's like I almost kind of felt like, if I tell you that I've had ADHD since I was a kid, and that a neurologist diagnosed me, you'll listen to me more, you'll respect me more, you'll trust me more that I actually have it. But what if I really did just kind of figure out from TikTok, and I'm finally at the cusp of turning my life around after what I thought was a lifelong issue of laziness? What if this is the start of something new? And your degree just made me feel like I shouldn't have walked in your door. What if? Oh my gosh, it stresses me out. But I think it's necessary to talk through it and to think through it and to hold both things, defying gravity. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I just wanted to sing Defying Gravity, and I did sing it, and sing it well. I did. But the moral of the story, the point of all of this is that it is kind of unhealthy to think that therapy terms and, stuff like ADHD, like it's super unhealthy to be like, oh, I'm really picky. So because I'm OCD, I can't stay focused. I'm ADHD. You're getting on my nerves. You're a narcissist. You know what I mean? That's unhealthy, right? But it's also unhealthy to be like, I survived a global pandemic. I am 100% mentally stable. You know what I mean? Because, ain't no way most of us don't need a little help. So I think some of the most important stuff that we could do, here's your list. Get your paper, get your pen. Lame. I think what we can do, honestly, step outside. Don't stay in the house too long. Don't stay inside too long. Prayerfully, none of my friends are watching this and will use that against me when I tell them I don't want to socialize. I'm tired of my friends watching my stuff. Get off my page. Anyways, girl, what was I talking about? Oh, go outside. Get out of the house. Spend some time in the literal outside. Get off your phone, right? If you're sensing, if you genuinely are sensing that you're having some challenges and you think it could be mental health related, homie, journal that stuff. Write it down while you are simultaneously getting out of the house, right? Like it's both and. We can't have a battle between, is this self-care or community care? You got to do both. You have to be able to look internally and have that self-awareness of, I'm struggling here. I said this, I did this, I feel this. You got to be able to journal that stuff, look internally, be self-aware. I just said the same thing. Maybe because it was super important. And also, you got to be able to spend time in the community, spend time with people face to face. Have people that speak into your life that will call you on things, that will listen to the things that are in your journal, that will talk with you through them. Wise people that care and that are honest and that you'll listen to. I honestly think that's one of the first steps. When it is me, my feelings, and my phone against the world, everything is harder than it's supposed to be. Everything is worse than it's supposed to be. And this is coming from someone, I have a formal diagnosis, I have a clinical diagnosis by my neurologist, by my psychiatrist, Tourette syndrome, ADHD, OCD, generalized anxiety disorder, autism spectrum disorder. I do think I honestly just forgot one. But the point that I'm making is that those things are 10 times more difficult when it's me and content about those things all day. They're 10 times more difficult. And those things are not the exclusive what do you call it? Control board? What's the thing in Inside Out? They are not the primary directors of my character. They are not the primary directors of who I am. My generalized anxiety disorder, I was diagnosed with that at 11 years old after a trauma that affected my entire family so deeply. And I've battled that for most of my life. I'm 33 years old, so I've been dealing with that for a very long time. And it sometimes has been a dictator of the choices that I make, the words that I use, the places I go, the times I don't go places. But you know what also is a dictator of those things, and what also is responsible for me? My character flaws, my inconsistencies with working on my self-improvement as a person. I see a difference in who I am as a human when I'm listening to certain music. I see a difference in who I am as a human when I'm intentionally like reading a book that's supposed to like inspire and like help me be a better person. Like if I'm actually applying the stuff that I'm learning. If I'm sitting with my friends, my mentors, and I'm hearing them hold me accountable to stuff, and I am not choosing to go, I mean, well, actually, no, I do still do that, but like, then I have to decide, okay, but am I going to put this stuff in action? You see what I mean? Like, even somebody like me with a lengthy diagnosis, I'm still responsible for me as a human, right? My Tourette syndrome, it sends fires and misfires in my brain and makes choices for my body without my permission. I still choose who I am. Does that make sense? So I'm not here to tell you if you do or don't have ADHD, if you have or have not met a narcissist, if you are or not, or is not being gaslit. That sounds like I am trying to stress you out, and I'm not. The point that I'm making is that when it's me and my feelings in my phone, it's so much worse than it has to be. So much worse than it has to be. There are really, really good professionals out there who are doing good work to help people navigate through genuine diagnosis, and challenging situations surrounding a diagnosis, whether a late diagnosis, a recent diagnosis, or something from childhood. There are also really great professionals out there that can help you navigate and help you work through day-to-day challenges that present themselves that may feel so consistent that you need a diagnosis, that may not need a diagnosis. The crazy part about it is that it's not my job to be your psychiatrist. You have to get your own. I mean, you not get your own because I'm not one at all, but I kind of want to be one, but I feel like I would not be a good therapist. Well, a psychiatrist and a therapist, not the same thing. But I feel like I wouldn't be good at it because I feel like if there was just like drama going on, I'd be like, girl, bring her in here. Let's work this out. Let's work this out. Like just bring everyone in to the next session. We'll solve this. Aaron and I are leaving the house in 4 minutes. That is a husband that I have. Well, I only have one. I have one husband. But I mean, he's still a husband that I have. It's just that I do only have the one, which is on purpose. Plan on keeping it that way. Why am I still talking about this? We rode into town the other day. Do you guys know the song "Why" by Nicole Nordeman? Stop it. It's so good. It's the best song ever. I think it might be the best song ever. "Why" by Nicole Nordeman. Look it up right now. Or "Oklahoma" by Billy Gilman. Now, suitcase packed. It's okay to seek professional help. It is okay to look for resources that complement professional help regarding mental health and wellness. And if it ends up in a diagnosis, if it ends up in some intentional work on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly basis, on a bi-weekly, on a monthly, a quarterly basis, if it ends up being a hiccup in character that we are now made aware of, and we see some work we need to do and some boundaries to set in our personal lives, all those things are okay and beautiful and valid. And it just might be that you have a mixture of one or more of those things. You may need therapy, you may need counseling, you may need medication, you may need more friends, you may need more of a social life, you may need a flip phone, you may need a lock on your screen time, you may need some vitamins, some good sleep. A list of things that could help, that could be beneficial. And just maybe, just maybe, even more than one of those things would be helpful. But what do I know? I'm just a pop star in tie-dye pants. Okay, bye.